This is why you should read something that challenges your philosophy. I just finished Friedrich Nietzsche's Antichrist, which feels like I was sinning since I am a Catholic. And I've already had a lot of Friedrich Nietzsche recommendations. And surprisingly, Antichrist is the very first one I have read about his works. I was even really hesitant to pick up that book because from the title itself, I am already expecting what kind of content it has. And so I still read it because maybe I was overcome with curiosity. Since I was really curious what Nietzsche has to say, I had to read it. And first of all, I'm not really overly religious because there's some kind of the kind of philosophy that I have doesn't really connect with religion. Some of my philosophies are actually contradicting the kind of belief that religious people have. And that is also why sometimes I avoid conversing about religion, politics, because if you're not um, open minded enough to even listen, more so understand, then I don't really think it's worth the time. And so, at first, I was really uncomfortable reading the book because, as a Catholic, the whole point of the book is rejecting the idea of Jesus Christ. And as a Catholic, we grew up um, being indoctrinated with this belief that there is God. But Nietzsche says God is dead. And so I was really uncomfortable reading that at first. But I think there was a really good part where Nietzsche's points are proving my philosophy right. And it felt like my philosophies were validated by his work because he identifies himself as an objectivist. And although I don't really or fully identify myself with anything, but I really believe in objectivism, maybe because of the things that I have experienced in my life, that I came to the conclusion that religion or any kind of beliefs that doesn't improve your life or doesn't push you or motivates you to improve your life practically is some kind of nonsense for me. And so those are my thoughts about the book. So it felt like it really validated a part of me. It made me think that, oh, I am not the only one thinking about this. Nietzsche wrote this one a long time ago. So I know that I was not delusional. In fact, according to his book, the religion is the delusional one. And so those are my feelings about the book. And for me, it is really helpful. So, why did I say that this is why you should read a book that challenges your philosophy? That's because I feel like just because you read something doesn't mean that you have to apply all of it. You have to find something that you can use for your life. But that doesn't mean everything you read is something you have to blindly believe, or it's not some kind of manual that you have to follow. Antichrist is a book that contains Nietzsche's thoughts about religion, and especially it arises from his ideas during his time. And even if some of those thoughts are is still applicable in the present times, it is not right to directly compare the kind of idea that he's presenting in the book to our life today. Some, especially when he's referring to the psychological kind of manipulation the church has been using, and I actually believe that, which is something that I wouldn't freely share to my parents or to my relatives because they are diehard Catholic. And but you know, the point really is even if I've read that, and even though most of it are something that I agree with, it's not like just because I read it, I am going to completely turn my back on religion. Contrary to what I am expecting, I still believe in God. Even though Nietzsche's work, The Antichrist, is very fascinating to me, I still believe in God. So, this kind of reading something for me, I would say uncomfortable, reading something uncomfortable will make you more open minded because I feel like being a Catholic, we only have the idea of there being God. So if you read something that goes against that idea, of course it's uncomfortable, but it's also going to give you another side of perspective. So having that kind of idea, you know, you are very biased when you only know just one side. And that doesn't mean that when you are in just one religion, that doesn't mean that you're going to reject knowing other beliefs. And that's really my point that you have to read something uncomfortable because not all the time you know the truth. Actually, the more you know, the more you're going to doubt everything. And so it makes you smarter, it makes you more open-minded because reading something that opposes your philosophy is going to open a lot more um ideas, and you're going to welcome them open-heartedly. So that is also something that I've realized. That is a skill that is improving myself. That is something that I'm very grateful of having because now I wouldn't simply judge another side without knowing what kind of perspective they have. So it's really good that we read something that opposes our philosophy, not just stick to just one belief and boost our ego that we are the best. Because no one is the best, nothing is the best. We just have to welcome other ideas for us to become more knowledgeable.